We'll begin the program with a salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. We'll begin with the recitation of the Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق مولانا رسول الله الكريم وآله العظيم صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Brother Ali Nakvi for the recitation of poetry.
صلوات. حیدر کی جان فاطمہ کے نورین تھے حیدر کی جان فاطمہ کے نورین تھے دل سے شریک کار شاہ مشرقین تھے اور جیسا مالتا ویسا ہی طرز جہاد تھا اور زینب کہیں علی تھی کہیں پر حسین تھے حیدر کی جان فاطمہ کی صلوات. حسنین کا علی کا پیامبر کا راستہ حسنین کا علی کا پیامبر کا راستہ ہے کہ فاطمہ کے بڑے گھر کا راستہ हसनैन का अली का पैगंबर का रास्ता अपना लिया है मैंने जो है दर का रास्ता अपना लिया है मैंने जो है दर का रास्ता जिब्रील पूछते हैं मेरे घर का रास्ता ओ पूछो अली से क्या है मोहम्मद की मंजिलें पूछो अली से क्या है मोहम्मद की मंजिलें ओ दरिया ही जानता है समंदर का रास्ता हसनैन का अली का पैगंबर का रास्ता बिनते असद से हजरत जिब्री लेने कहा ओ दीवार काबा तकती है हैदर का रास्ता हसनैन का अली का पैगंबर का रास्ता सलावत
Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So obviously tonight, as you can tell, is the final night. Usually the day after, the 10th of Muharram, the people, obviously, they've been here every day. They've been going to, some of us have been going to multiple majalises, some online, some live, right? So, usually on the last night, we have this sort of different dynamics in the crowd. But it also gives Maulana the opportunity to ask us questions, see if we picked up on anything he taught the last 10 days. And also, inshallah, we can, if you have any questions, Maulana, I think will be receptive to that. I'm not sure if Slido is still being active or not, but okay. So before we started the lecture series, there's an app called Slido, or you can also go to the website slido.com, and you can send questions or feedback about the lectures, and Maulana would answer those questions either directly, or if it's something that needs to be addressed in the majalis, he will do that the next day. And I think you said it's open for next couple of days. Okay, so let me just give that ID again, just in case for those of you who don't have it. If you go to slido.com, or if you download the Slido app on your phone, you enter the following meeting ID number. Let me just bring that up real quick. It's 583-1727. Again, that's 583-1727. Now that we have that, I wanted to thank Maulana again for taking time out of his busy schedule, accepting our invitation. And honestly, he's a pioneer at this point because he's one of the first where we're doing simultaneous programs. Usually it's either English and Urdu, or English and Urdu mixed together, or just English. This time around, it was simultaneous program, separate program. We didn't know if we were going to get anyone to show up, but alhamdulillah, as the nights progressed, this pretty much our area was full, and that just shows that people were listening, they were attracted to the message that Maulana was giving, and either these small interactions that I've been having with the youth and the adults, it shows that it's definitely something to think about what the Maulana has talked about, and he'll obviously recap. I don't want to do the recap for him, So again, let's for his health and his well-being from him for himself, his family. Let's do a loud salawat for him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I now invite Maulana Hujjatul Islam Syed Raza Baqar Rizvi. Salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الإمام باقر عليه السلام أطلب راحة البطن بإجمام القلب صلوات. My brother has well, I should have a problem with the Hujjatul Islam, but I didn't do it because I think that this is what you brothers give with the amama and the libas, not me, inshallah, because there's no Hujjatul Islam here. That's a big burden. So I would just say a few things, like brother said, like the recap of what we were discussing. And before that, I'll thank the community for inviting me. And it's not just like, the traditional, some formal way of you are thanking me, I'm thanking you. I always wanted to come over here, but I don't know why didn't you invite me before. It's okay. Please recite salawat. Because I have a family here, so every year I come here. So when he said that I took time out from my schedule, I had to come over here, and I got the opportunity to see this community, and alhamdulillah, I'm so happy the brothers I met, and again, it's from the bottom of my heart. I think like I'm just trying to, so you can invite me again. Don't invite me again. It's because, alhamdulillah, you can see, I came here in 2004. I stayed with my brother. I used to go to different centers, probably came here once or twice too at that time, I'm not sure. And it was like 2004, right? So almost like 20 years. So we can see the thing that the community has different dynamics, different focuses, different, things they were doing, which is all good. But all we wanted at that time, and even right now, that we'll grow a little bit from there, or maximize it, make it better, and transfer it to our kids. The best thing which we see is that the young youth, the young people who are coming over here, and they're sticking to that, we can say the traditional style of Muharram and everything, but they're growing and try to grow more. Try to go to this path with more knowledge, with more ma'arifah, with more love. And this shows that this community has a lot of potential. I was just talking to brother, I went to a community where there's a Maulana residing. Alhamdulillah, you have a Maulana here too, but there's a really active Maulana. He made a really good community. And I was there last year. I like that community, but when I can see that community has a potential. In that Q&A, we had like 20 sisters, 20 brothers, all young, all active, asking questions. Here, after majalis, after those things, we have the same situation. So, probably they might be bigger in number and have potential. Every community has a potential. As long as you have one person to work for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have potential. Why Quran says that Ibrahim was ummah by itself? All alone he did everything. He was a mawahid. He started his revolution all alone from Mesopotamia, and then he built the Kaaba and all this story. I'm not going to do that story. So less in number, and I think that's what I mentioned for in the first majlis, because we had a small number, that the lower number, less number shouldn't bother us. We are doing things for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala where quantity doesn't matter. Only quality matters. Of course, when you organize something, if you can attract more people, you provide more services to people, like we were talking about different services, that's only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They come for food, 1,000 people come for food, and only 10 people come for majlis. I shouldn't care about that. Allah asked me to do this thing, provide food or provide knowledge or provide a lecture or learn from someone. I have to do my wadhifa, that's it, my duty. So please recite a salawat for all of you who came here and did this khidmah for Karbala and Imam Hussein. And I can imagine that after 10 days, and it was, you have work, and my brother was actually saying that it was kind of a long weekend, and then today was the first day of the work for a lot of people, right? So it's tiring. But I am happy if you are not here to listen to me, because it doesn't matter. But if somebody thinks, and Shias don't think in this way, that with the Sham-e Ghariba and with the Salam-e Akhir, it is actually Salam-e Akhir, it is actually Khuda Hafiz with Imam Hussein, then that's not right. That's not right, because as a matter of fact, and we can discuss this today, the Karbala starts after Ashura. Ashura was the thing which happened in few hours, not even a whole day, few hours, from 9 o'clock till you'll say 2 or 3 o'clock. Everything was finished, everything was done. So in few hours this thing happened, and it's still continuing today after 1400 years. Who did all this thing? This gap we need to know, and alhamdulillah, after we'll have majalis here, I have majalis some other places, I'll try my best to point out this idea in Shia community that Ashura has to be taken to some other people, to some other level. That's what Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and especially the women of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, did that. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. I hope it's not going to be a really big majlis like Shabi Ashur one. I think it was an hour and a half. I don't know. I thought that the Nohas were like for half an hour. My majlis was just for 1 hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes. Please say salawat. So it won't be a big majlis. I love to discuss things with you, like brother says afterwards in Slido. You have my number. Brother has my number. Call me, message me. Inshallah, I'll be there. I'll make my best efforts to be there for you if you have a question, because with your questions, it's not like I'm giving you something, I'm learning. And it's from the bottom of my heart. When I went to Hausa, that's what I thought, that maybe I wouldn't be able to become, a mujtahid or something like this. But I can be a bridge there, right? A bridge in language, a bridge in like the thoughts, the ma'rifat, and these discussions they have there in Hausa, which we don't listen or we don't engage here, right? And sometimes when you come back here, you see that we are thinking in a certain way, and which makes sense because the environment we are living in pushes us to think in a certain way. But inshallah, if we can build this bridge, then we can install that new software of Islam in our communities, which is going to help us grow more. Grow in the way that whatever we were doing, inshallah, we were not doing just ritualistically, but if we were doing like that, now it will make sense for us. So to recap what we discussed about, is not like I'm not gonna go, okay, on the first majlis I said this, second, this will be so tiring. You guys should go right now if I do that. The central idea would be this, that what I try to do, and I probably fail doing that, but again, it opened a gate of discussion, a door of discussion, that we listen and we see Islam in a little bit different way. I was listening to Ayatollah Jawadi's Mu'idha, his speech or his advice to the Muballighin. And he said, like, go there and give them something which they didn't hear. It was so strange, right? Because sometimes people say that, okay, if it's not in Tariq, then I'm going to make it up. He didn't mean that. Islam and Ma'arif Islam has a lot of things in it. A lot of brothers and sisters, we cannot even imagine. Why? Because it's changing, it's growing everywhere, every day. Even our Hausa, even in ulama. Jawad Amli said he's the Shagird, he's the student of Allama Tabatabai. You know Allama Tabatabai who wrote Al-Mizan, the really good tafsir. He said if Allama would be alive today, because he wrote another tafsir, Allama Jawad Amli. He said if Allama would be alive, he would be writing another tafsir for Quran. So Qurani Ma'arif are that big. He was a student of Allama maybe 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, not even a century. In 50, 60 years, Allama Jawad Amali is saying, I'm saying Allama, he is not called Allama, but inshallah he's Allama. I'll tell you what Allama means, so please recite Salawat. Everything I say, every word has like other meanings, but it's okay. Like Allama is a person who has like specialty in different aspects of knowledge. So he's mashallah philosopher, he's a faqih, he's a different sections and factions of Islamic knowledge. He's a master of it. So he is saying like after 50, 60 years, you need another tafsir of Quran. That's how many ma'arif we have. So when he is giving this advice to these people who are going for tabligh, he's saying, give them something new. What? Something which is helpful for them. Something which they didn't hear before. So that was my niyyah starting this thing. Now you tell me in Slido that Maulana, you did it or not? With the, the 1 to 10 scale. 1 is the worst and the 10 is the best. So probably I'll be 3.5 or something. Please recite salawat. 9.5. Why do you take 0.5 away? Inshallah. Please recite salawat. But that's brother who is giving me 9.5, I will give myself 1.5 because I know that my English is not my first language. There might be some problems with that. And of course the matalib and the ma'arif which were here, to deliver them, I was not probably the suitable person because my knowledge is not that great. The second thing is, this mimbar is a difficult place to give this kind of knowledge. So inshallah, if we have started, if we have started this thinking that we have to get better knowledge, know the same things, let's say sawab and iqab, the same terms, the same concepts of Islam, but in a deeper way, if our mindset has changed to that, that is a success, that's a growth by itself, right? Inshallah. Just one more advice from me as your brother. If we think that only majalis are gonna give us all the information, I don't think it's a good idea. My brothers were talking to me and I have seen that the majalis are happening are so awesome. Sometimes I listen to those majalis in English. I said, this brother is talking about, what I learned in my class in Qum, in Hawda. So these are Hawza graduates, all students coming on the mimbar, talking to you about those things which we are discussing there, but still it's not enough. Because this position is just to push you towards something, or guide you in some place, right? We cannot sit down here and open everything and discuss it to the core. So what my advice is that a book club is a good idea. Wherever I go, I say that. You have a local Maulana, start a book club with him. And I get another advice. Don't start a book club on your own self. I went to a place and the sisters were having a book club and they were talking, reading some books about feminism. I said, and with no Maulana, nothing. Oh, that's a big no-no. Because sometimes these ideas are being put here in a really good way and they are heavier to what our knowledge is and what our approach is, and we become like mesmerized by them. Oh, what kind of a philosophical point they give in this book, and there's no other learned person to explain it for yourself, for you. So inshallah, have a Maulana or anyone, engage them in a book club, or read a book. Syed Mutahari's books are, I can see a lot of brothers here who had read more than these books, what I'm saying. But Syed Mutahari's books are the good start. The kamal of Syed Mutahari is this, that he brought the really thick and difficult discussions of Hausa, made them palatable, made them really easy to understand. That's the kamal of him. So inshallah we'll get benefit from him. Please recite another salawat. So all in all, what I was trying to do was this, that inshallah we'll get another view, another angle of understanding the ma'arif of Islam. And I took a really difficult position because the matalib and these things were quite heavy. And in few majalis I have understood that, but we tried to skip it and come and discuss about how those ma'arif and those concepts are related to our life. Because brothers and sisters, if we don't do this, we're going to lose our youth. Through the hands of atheists, through the hands of other Sunni brothers who are not Sunnis but Wahhabis, and they're trying to convert about, these discussions about Tawheed and Imama and Nabuwa, all these things. We're going to lose our youth and ourselves, not our youth. Oh, in front of me, they're all youth, mashallah. Your fathers are up there. But they know that, mashallah. That all of us need to understand this. So what we try to understand is insan shanasi, right? What insan shanasi is, like how insan is, how do Islam define insan, how insan is related to Allah. And we got the natija, like brother said, if I ask questions, which natija did we get to? What was the result of the discussion? If I ask you to what insan is in Islamic way, you don't have to answer right now. Answer it Slido, in Slido, which nobody opened for 2 days. I'm just kidding. Please say salawat. Well, it was Ashura. What Slido has to do. But to tell you, what I tried to deliver was this. If you got this, it'll be good. If you got some other idea, please share it with me. That in a nutshell, insan is nothing but a shadow of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is nothing by himself. He doesn't exist. He cannot exist all by himself. He has to lean to his creator. Like I give the examples and other things. When we see insan like this, then Sharia makes sense. Otherwise, Sharia doesn't make sense sometimes, right? What's going to happen now? We're in this thing. What's going to happen if I drink only this much of alcohol? I'm not getting intoxicated. What's going to happen to me, right? These questions come up. These things don't make sense if we don't know the core of Islam, that what my core is, what La ilaha illallah means. What this small najis thing is going to do to my ruh or my jism, and how far I'll be from my right path. Why do I have to be on right path? What is Jannah? All these questions are related to insan shanasi. That's what I thought, but in 10 days I was not able to deliver it. But just to open a door for you brothers and sisters, read books about it, discuss about it. What's the difference between insan shanasi Islami, like how Islam sees insan, and how the other people see insan? What is the worldview of Islam? What's the worldview of other religions and other concepts, other theories, philosophies? The best thing which I'm pretty sure inshallah this sisters will be like in intizar of this. The best discussion which can happen after understanding the insan shanasi is this, that what is my role as insan? And when I believe, and inshallah we all believe in that, and I don't have to be politically correct here, we are all Muslims, we believe in one Allah, and we believe in two genders, right? No multiple genders. So, man and woman. How this insan shanasi is related to knowing me as a man and as a woman. So the discussion here, one brother asked me to do that, the soul discussion. Again, the soul or the spirit, that's a heavy discussion again. I'll just say a few words and then we're going to go to our core discussion, which is about the Don't put it as a title, but gender roles, right? So please recite salawat first. Just to give a little bit tafsir of what Imam Baqar alayhi salam is saying here. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Atlubul rahat al-badan wa jamam al-qalb. What does it mean? That when your qalb is okay, then your badan is gonna be okay as well. If your qalb is right, your badan is right as well. Again, the discussion of spirituality, spiritual realm, and physical realm. We are in this world with spirit and body. With this, the tafsir of this hadith is this, that if we have bodily problems, a materialistic problem, is because we have a problem in our qalb. Now the qalb is known as ruh, or the essence of a person. We'll say, what ruh is, Maulana? It's nafs. What's nafs? We have big bahaf and big discussion about nafs insani, in falsafa, in philosophy. We're not going to these mabahith. What we can understand about nafs and qalb and the essence of his human is what? Just to give you a definition or description, a higher level of your intellect. Your nerves, so your brain is controlling your whole body, right? Your brain is controlling your thoughts. The whole psychology, like we were talking about, the higher centers of the brain are there to analyze difficult things, right? Making computers, airplanes, things like this. Nafs is above than that. Nafs is something which is controlling that brain. And that is the essence of you and me. When you say, then when I said this, that I came to US in 2004, my body has changed a lot from 2004 to 2022, right? A lot of cells have changed and been replaced. But I'm still calling myself me. So much so that I don't even see my gray hair, and I call other brother an uncle, and he gets upset. And then I say, yeah, you're right to be upset, because I shouldn't be calling anyone uncle with that many gray hair. Please recite salawat. So we lose the count of time, the count of days, and we don't know that environment and even our bodies are changing. Why? Because there's a constant thing in me, and that is known as nafs or ruh. So take this ruh like this. Now, how is this ruh discussion attached or connected to our today's discussion? So there's again ilmi mas'ala, ilmi, I wouldn't say conflict, but the different ideas. Some ulama say that ruh has a gender, and some says it doesn't have a gender. For example, Mullah Sadra says ruh has a gender. Allama Javadi says, or Jawad Amli says, not Allama Javadi. Jawad Amli says ruh has no gender. So for that, we are not going to go in the deeper discussions of that. But just take it as a grain of salt, and then we're going to go forward. The other discussion is about that when ruh was born. Was it born like before the jism of insan, or after the jism of insan, or together? We have ikhtilaf here as well. Some says, the waqi' al-ast, the ruh, all the arwah were there, and Allah was talking to them, and then these arwah were given to the different bodies. Some ulama, like Mullah Sadra, he says, no, when I was in the womb of my mother, the time my body was made, at the same time my ruh was being made. And not being made, that ruh was actually made by my body. So this is really dangerous, but I'm not going there, right? We're going to take it so we can discuss that. So if you think of ruh like this, then you can say that that's why he believed that when a body of a male is being formed, the ruh would be a male. When the body of a female is being formed, the ruh would be a female. It makes sense. Why is it related to me right now? It's because of this that does it mean that if ruh has a gender, then the ruh has to follow different paths, different sharia? No, it doesn't mean that. So if you take these two concepts, one is saying that ruh has gender, and one says the ruh is genderless, you can see or you can make a result in this way, that my gender, now this is really important, my gender will have effect on my ruh, but it doesn't mean that I cannot do this ruhani journey or spiritual elevation differently. You get it? If you get it, please recite salawat. Today is the last day, so let me do this joke. If you didn't get it, please recite louder salawat. Okay, if you understood it, please recite louder salawat. This joke is so old, I cannot do it. Can you do it louder if you understood it better? Hassan, mashallah, mashallah. You're saying it's the same people, right? I have to do this joke somewhere else now. That's why I'm leaving tomorrow. Please recite another salawat. So let me repeat. Regardless if I believe in the gender of the ruh or not, the conclusion I'm getting is this, that this gender of I have has different effect on my ruh, which kind of shapes my ruh in a different way. And because of that, we can see the Sharia is the same for men and women, but it has different laws. Right? I have to do hijab too, but my hijab is not that I have to cover my hair and body the way, I have to cover my body, but the way the women have to do it. I have to do, J word, jihad, but the jihad of a woman is something different. So different laws changes because body changes. And because of these bodies, the ruh have the ability to accept these different laws, and through these different laws, both the male and female ruhs can elevate. So if a child come to me and say, Maulana, why a Nabi was not a woman was not a Nabi or Imam? Because we are created differently, brothers and sisters. No politically right thing here. This is the right thing. We are created differently. But to elevate ourselves, we have the same circumstances, same, we're same in this way. Same opportunity. Now, some ulama say that women have the more opportunity to elevate themselves. And it makes sense. Why? Because, there's a whole discussion about Jalal and Jamal. The beauty of the ruh, the latafat, I don't know these words, I have no translation for that. The lightness and the beauty of the ruh is known as latafat. The latafat of the ruh of women it could be more than men. Or in another sense, that's why Allah Ta'ala has given them different tasks. I'll explain it with an example. Please just ask salawat. We know Imam Khomeini, right? You have heard Imam Khomeini. You have read a few of his books. When he talks, and he used to talk, he was not politically correct ever. He would just say straightforward things. He is talking to his daughter-in-law, and you know his ibadah, their orafa, they wouldn't do namaz, half an hour namaz shab, at least 2 hours namaz shab. He said to his daughter-in-law that the night you get up to change your child, the thawab of that is as much as I'm ready to trade my namaz-e-shab thawab with that thawab. Again, I said, he's not a person who has to be politically correct. जिनको कह रहा हो कि बहू को रखना है घर में, नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं थी. It's not like that. Imam Khomeini is respected, and this specific person was really attached to Imam on the Rouhani level. But when he's saying that, the sisters have more opportunity to elevate themselves. I might have to do 2 hours namaz-e-shab, and she has to change 1 diaper at night. You'll say, Maulana, this is not equality. Well, probably is not. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala why we were created like this. Please recite salawat. Now brothers are doing the same thing. Right? They're changing diapers at night, so they won't have to do 2 hours namaz. Recite another salawat. Still, you cannot replace a mother. You can do whatever you want. You can have the, what do they call it? Fanny pack? I don't know. It's like you're a kangaroo and have a child. You can do that, but you cannot get, you cannot get the child in your belly. That's something else. No, that's not fanny pack. What's that? Sorry. It's a pouch. Yes? Please recite another salawat. I can show that I'm such a fool right here. Please recite another salawat. Which is all good. I mean, I like it. When we Pakistani people, when we come here and we say like brothers are helping their wives are so much, that's really good. We need to help our wives. But if anybody would think that I can replace anything in both the sides, that's wrong. That is wrong. Bibi Fatima Imam Ali came the next day to Rasulullah, asked him, give us the chores. He said like, Ali, you have to go and outside and work, and you, Fatima, you have to stay home and do work. Don't say, Maulana, what are you talking about? Well, I cannot survive without 2 incomes. I'm not talking about this. I'm saying this is how we are designed. Oh, if you need more money, I'm not going into that discussion. Please come to Brother Ali's house and we have a discussion there. I'll give the dawah there. Please recite salawat. Tomorrow. But you cannot change the nature of things. Because then they will have the right to say that, oh, we have to wear hijab and then we have to do everything. I have to be an engineer standing in front of sun wearing abaya. That's not possible, Maulana. What am I going to do? Even with the hijab, with the scarf. I wear amama. Some people's skin is different. It makes get me heat up. That's why I have fiery speeches last night here, right? Hijab is a difficult thing, but if I just send them everywhere, that's not right. That's not equality. That's not fair to them. But again, it's so difficult to do it in this ma'ashara, in this society. It's so difficult. But if I can do it, please do that. Please do that. The answer to that question, that why they are not prophets and imams, I'll give you an example, and probably it's going to become Roshan for you. You know there's a political term, says kingmakers, right? What if I say that women are not kingmakers, but they're imam and nabi makers? Don't smile like this, that I'm giving all the credit to them. Allah has did that. Of course they were chosen by Allah. Of course they were given a ruh which was clean and everything pure. Asmat is there. But they were given to specific people who can raise them that way, right? The women here, Momina is a Momina who can raise a Nabi and Imam or Wasi or Wali. Who can raise Imam Khomeini, who can raise Ayatollah Bahjat. If you go there and read their stories and see how much these women worked for their kids, for their children. And then these kids and these children became the leaders of the world, spiritual leaders. You think it's just given, this title is just given because we were feeling so sorry for you. You cannot get the position or any post. We're giving you that. All right? This is how we think. Because unfortunately, we don't think. We watch CNN and BBC, and passively we think the way they ask us to think. We read an article from a feminist slash, whatever, activist. Not feminist, it just stuck to my mind. Probably other is too. An activist who is really or he is, really sad about what's the situation of women here. And they misdirect us somewhere else. We are Muslims, we are Shias. We shouldn't listen to them. It doesn't mean that don't listen to them because you don't have any answer. According to their laws, according to their Sharia, according to their culture, they don't have any answer. I don't have to prove myself right by listening to them and doing what they ask me to do. Especially for the women, for the sisters, when they say, oh, you're so oppressed. Well, I think, again, I'm not sure. I think we passed that thing. It was like after 9/11 and this and that. But in professionalism, maybe tomorrow they will say, oh, what kind of a Muslim woman is? The Muslims don't encourage their women to become doctors and engineers and this and that and astronaut. You put a sister in astronaut in the space station and ask her to wear hijab. She'll be floating like this. How is she gonna do? I mean, you explain it to me. I'm not saying don't be an astronaut, Baba, but have some aql about these things. We need doctors, women doctors. We need engineers. We need professionals, but not the way they want us to be. If I were there, brother was saying that there was a brother who wanted to make a Shia university, I would make a Shia university, or if we make a Shia university, the curriculum for women should be different than men. I can have a residency for 4 years where I work like 17 hours because I'm made like this. You ask a sister to do that, that's not fair. These are really, really politically incorrect things I'm talking right now. I can get a lot of bashing, but again, inshallah, I'll be in Houston tomorrow at this time. The Slido will be open. Please recite salawat. What does it mean? That we are not going to teach our kids? No. See, a lot of people, it's so strange that you see some white people, because of the school things here and the bullying and all these things, and maybe drugs and all those things, they have started homeschooling, right? Again, I'm not saying homeschool your kids, but think about something, right? When I give you an example, don't take it as a solution here. At least we have to have these kind of discussions in our community. What if all these kids who are sitting in front of me will be taught in this same building? They'll be raised with the same mindset. I teach my kid for only 10 days and try to change their mindset. And from today, they started going to their regular school or regular place. I cannot survive it. I have to read this, I have to say this. I live in Qom. I am surrounded by Orofa. And I'm right here. Because it needs a lot of effort to elevate yourself. I don't provide an environment for my kids, for my sisters, and I ask them to become like, you have to be the kanis of Bibi Fatima. Yeah, they are. In heart they are, but I have to provide something for them, right? Not to go into tangent a lot. So the discussion is that the sisters can do the same thing, can get to the same level as Anbiya. They might not get the Nabuwa, but as Anbiya. Why? There's a hadith. There's a hadith from Imam Zaman alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala, where he says that for me, the ideal is in what? In Imam Ali? Imam Hussein? No. Bibi Fatima Zahra salam Allah. Imam Zamana, we are waiting for him. He will be in my lifetime, or probably not in my lifetime. Anytime. After a day, after a week, after 100,000 years, after 1,000 years, nobody knows. Whenever he's gonna be here, inshallah, he'll be the whole sole leader of the whole world. He's still the leader, but I mean, in physical world, like people will recognize him. He's saying that my ideal is in whom? Bi Fatimatu Zahra salamullah. You think it's takalluf? No. You guys understand takalluf, right? They call it ta'aruf. So takalluf is like sometimes you're trying to be good, and you're just giving some people different titles or something like this, if I explain it right. Please recite salawat. It's not in vain. He's not saying it in vain. He really means it. Please recite another salawat. And when you see Karbala, brothers and sisters, I said that I'm not going to take a lot of your time, so inshallah, I'm going to be finishing, and I think we have a Q&A. In Islam, things are really clear, right? They are clear, they are there. We cannot approach to that. When a traveler is traveling really thirsty, has no energy, in a sun, in a desert, he thinks that water doesn't exist. Just if he move a little bit more in the right direction, he'll find the water. And that is our situation is. Islam is clear, the ma'arif are clear, the laws are made the way the humans are being made. I just tried to prove this, that our bodies are made differently, so are our laws, right? And so are the ways to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Raising kids or raising an ummah or leading an ummah. They're the same. They are the paths to go towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Karbala happened on Ashura yesterday. It is started from today. Prominently by women of Islam. Prominently by them. If we have Bibi Zainab and Bibi Fatima and Bibi Ruqayya, Bibi Kulthum, Bibi Fatima Sughra, all these Bibiyan, if you go to Maqatil, in Kufa, not only Bibi Zainab talked to the Kufis, Bibi Fatima Sughra talked to the Kufis, Bibi Kulthum talked to the Kufi, and Bibi Ruqayya probably in Sham or Kufa. They all. We wouldn't have Karbala, we wouldn't know who Hussein was if there wouldn't be any Zainab. Bibi Zainab's name is not just to cry for, brothers and sisters. Please, 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 I say to myself, please, say to yourselves too. It's not just to cry for. The Masaib, she's Ummul Masaib. You hear her name, that's your love that you cry for her. But we read the next day they're entering Kufa and the way she's talking to the Kufis. Next day of Ashura. They said there are two riwayat. Umar Saad Maloon, he's probably moved the caravan after 2 days or the next day after Dhuhr. And you did the Karbala walk, you see that if you walk, you can reach in 2 days. So they were in the camels and the horses. They probably, maybe 10 hours they were able to reach there. So when let's say if they started the caravan after Dhuhr, they were at the gates of Kufa by the night of 11th of Muharram, the same 11th of Muharram today. Next day, Bibi Zainab was Ali inside the Kufa. Imam Ali sitting on the mimbar of Kufa as a Khalifatullah and as a Khalifatul Muslimin, delivering these speeches. Bibi Zainab was doing it after Ashura. Please, please, please don't have this thing in our mind that Bechari Zainab. No. She's so strong that after 1400 years, I'll just relate a small story I heard in a radio in Qum of one Afghan mother of Afghan Shaheed, in, close to for Madafain Haram. After 1400 years, she's so strong that she can challenge the Yazidis. Daesh were Yazidis. If you go to them and you read them, they had the Yazidi names there. And they called them, we are following of Abu Sufyan and Muawiyah and all these people. So this person, probably 17 years old, he went there for the defense. And he was talking to, his mother was like really, she said like, maybe he was the only one, I'm not sure. Please don't go, you're gonna get killed. The condition there is not that good. At the same time, you heard this news that they dug the qabr of Hujr ibn Uday, one of the Sahabi of Imam Ali. The Daesh did that. So she said that he called me from there and said, Mama or my mother, they did it to Hujr ibn Uday or Adi. And they're really close to the haram of Bibi Zainab. Now it's up to you. Would you allow me to stay here or not? Bibi Zainab didn't give honor Muhammad only, brothers and sisters. She is still making shuhada. She is still making us to get close to Allah like this. The feeling Zuhair and Habib had in their hearts, people had same feelings after 1400 years. Can you imagine how strong is she? Would I na'uzubillah say Bichari Zainab? No. She was mazluma, of course. And her mazlumiyat starts after Asra Ashur. After Asra Ashur, we mentioned that before. And now Zainab is Abbas and Hussein both. She has to take care of the Khayyam, which are burned, take care of the children, which are lost, either martyred or wandering in the jungle, and providing water to them. All the positions Imam Hussein and Hazrat Abbas had, she was there on Sham-e-Ghariba. On the second day, she was the supporter and nurturer of the Imama, not only Imam, Imama. Now the Imamat is only in one person, Zainul Abidin Ali ibn al-Hussein. And she was the one who has to protect him. They said when they were taking these mal'oon, they buried all of their lashe, but left all the bodies of martyrs on the plain of Karbala. They took them where the Shuhada, where the Ganja Shahida was. Bibi Zainab came down off the camel and started crying for Imam Hussein. But there was another person who was crying for Imam Hussein, and that was Ali ibn al-Hussein. And if you see the life of Hazrat Zainul Abidin, he was passed out the whole day of Ashura. Now he's seeing what he's seeing on the Karbala, the plain of Karbala. I don't have the himmah to say that, brothers and sisters. The way they smashed the body of Abu Abdullah, they didn't know. I don't know how did they recognize him. And now remember, now see that son who saw Imam Hussein at last when he was coming for Rukhsat Akhir. Now he's seeing something on the floor, on the plain of Karbala. He doesn't know if he's Hussein or not, if he's his Baba or not. But when he saw that, his
color of his face changed so much so that Zainab thought that his ruh is gonna leave his body. She stopped crying on Imam Hussein. She came to Imam Zain al-Abidin and said, "Oh my son, oh my Imam, you have to do sabr because you are Imam. The Imama is with you and I am the protector of the Imama." فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيُّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ. Matam Hussein.
مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین. وہ عابد بیمار تھا، وہ عابد بیمار تھا، چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا، چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا. اور شام کا بازار تھا، اور شام کا بازار تھا، اور مصطفیٰ کی بیٹیاں مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین. شبیر کی وہ اولاد لی، شبیر کی وہ اولاد لی، سینے پہ جو شاہ کے پلی، سینے پہ جو شاہ کے پلی. جس کی عبا رن میں جلی، جس کی عبا رن میں جلی، منہ پر تماچوں کے نشان مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین. وہ عسکر بشیر تھا، وہ عسکر بشیر تھا، اور حرملہ کا تیر تھا، اور حرملہ کا تیر تھا. پیاسا گلا کیوں کرکتا، پیاسا گلا کیوں کرکتا، روئی زمین اور آسمان مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین.
We'll have a Q&A session for brothers and sisters who want to sit and discuss the topics. Let's read Dua Imam Azana together. Allahumma kulli waliyakal salawatuka wa ala abai fi hadis Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
Assalamu alaikum.